All right, well, that's a wrap. I just finished up the United Nations Public Service Forum here in Uzbekistan, which is where I've been for the last 3 days. I've never been to anything like this before. I've been to international conferences, but it's stuff like the Creative Bureaucracy Festival or Forward 50. This is sort of like much more international. Obviously, with the United Nations, it's much more formal. I think one of the things that's exciting for me is this chance to engage with whole parts of the world that I don't usually engage with, particularly developing world. Here, being in Central Asia, lots of different countries and people from those countries I'd never engaged with before. It was interesting both to see the similarities and differences between how public service innovation is rolling out here. I mean, the similarities is that we're facing the same challenges. There's the same hopes and aspirations. Some of the same structural things, but there are also some differences as well. They don't have near the legacy, which I think in some ways is legacy systems, or at least the systems they have, seem to be much more flexible or malleable, which is allowing them to actually iterate and move forward on innovations much more quickly. In many ways, I think the most interesting stuff that's now happening in the world is happening in developing countries, and I hope to be finding ways to share this stuff moving forward. I met this really incredible group of young people. They're part of a program where the government of Uzbekistan sponsors them to study abroad, and then they come back and they work in the government for a period of time and just bring those best practices and ideas. Kind of remind me a bit of the Create Lithuania program that I think is also really cool. And this group of young people is just absolutely dialed in, and it gives me hope for the next generation if we can have more public servants like them. And I think part of it as well is this realization that I need to get more plugged into that next generation coming up. So I'm hoping in the months and years to come to really reach out and engage with the next generation of public servants coming in to help speed up their transition to government and help them navigate that change. I was also surprised by what wasn't talked about. We're in Uzbekistan. While we're here, Iran and Israel and the US were sort of lobbing bombs at each other. That's, not far from here at all. And many countries who are here are impacted by that quite directly. And we never talked about that. It was never really discussed. Also, I mean, it's a United Nations conference. The United Nations is having, significant funding cuts that in many ways mirror a lot of the austerity that governments around the world are facing. And again, that wasn't something that really was talked about, except for my friend Robin mentioning it at the very end. Which I thought was interesting that we didn't go into those spaces. I think it was very much focused on the positive, very much focused on the exciting stuff. I mean, the digital transformation that countries like Uzbekistan are going through, incredible. But most importantly for me, it's about the people. I found them so inspiring and looking forward to keeping up. So those are some of my takeaways, and I will be releasing a bunch more videos in the next couple of days. I did record a bunch, I just haven't had time to release them. So stay tuned for that.